Well, hello there, YouTubers. I hope everybody's staying safe and well. Just a brief update on levels 1 and 2 of the Cascade Sub. As I've said before, I did find the track schematics for the actual railroad I was doing, based in Montana, running from Great Falls down to Helena. So I just thought I'd show you what I'd found online. Like, basically, I was going to model the town of Ulm, but as you'll see later on in the video, I've run out of space, so it's now staging. So basically, I'm starting in Cascade, which is the town that we're sitting on at the moment. And this was my wish list that I was wanting to put in. As you can see on the right hand side up here, I've the line which did go to Ulm, which I'm not representing now, just goes straight to Canadian Pacific in the town of Sweetgrass, which is just south of the border. It then runs around to the Timber Spur, which you'll see as well. Hardy, which is on the second level. Craig, which will be on the third level. Mid Cannon, I'm not going to model anymore. I was going to put the refinery there, but due to redesigning the layout, it's now gone from a plan to just basically the modeller's license. It's turned out to be a bit of a pain, but it's the first real layout I've ever made. Like, so I'm learning by my mistakes. Yeah, so there we go. We're now coming to Wolf Creek in Sabine. Really struggling to pronounce this, so if anybody can help us out, this little one here. And then I did want me mine, so I've come up with the fictional barefoot mine, which then runs down. Which then run down into the continuous loop, and the line that would run to Silver City runs south to Helena. But like I said, it's just not modelled anymore. So, without further ado, I'll just move this out the way, and we'll get on with the show. Right, basically, I got me risers the other day. As you can see, Woodland Scenics incline sets, absolutely superb. I have waited best part of 2 months for them, but well worth the wait and well worth the money. I would surmise most people know Woodland Scenics, but I really do recommend them after all the faff on I've had with the pink foam or orange foam, as we've got over here. Carving it down, doing inclines and all the rest of it. So nothing much has changed. I've got all my feeder wires in downstairs. I've just reorganised this back level here with the brewery in. There is another brewery building to go next to it, which will be the distillery, with the loading track at the front. The back track, well, there's 2 tracks I should say, but the one closest to the brewery here is going to be an unloading track for incoming bottles and pallets and the likes of. The back track, which straight through, is going to be my stockyard. Like I've said before, stockyards in Britain mainly quite different to stockyards in America. The mainly for keeping goods in, like you say, anything big, cables, wire cables, rails, you name it, it goes in there. So I'm going to have my container unloading in there, which will supply my online customers and offline customers. Also, it'll keep big bits of machinery for other places. Like you say, there is a lot of farming on and around the layout, so I might put the odd, if I can find some eventually, maybe a couple of combine harvesters or tractors down there, just to represent that type of industry. Mainly the biggest thing down here, like you say, is this truck here, which I was going to have as a meat factory, supplied by, well, modelled by a loading dock. I'm now going to splice this track about roughly where the pen is there, and it's going to curve round onto this board here with all the bits and bobs on. This is now going to become basically a roundhouse, turntable, engine facility, and a little bit of town scenery, probably around this part, or maybe at the back, so I can freely access it. I have come with the major challenges of the height of down the bottom of this board to the height of this board, as you'll see further round in the video. But trying to get into that back corner is just a challenge in itself. When I put all that, glued that down yesterday, it was a right headache. And I mean that I'm not the thinnest of blokes, and I struggle to get underneath there. So I was trying to keep everything in arm's distance for operational purposes. So the stuff out the back, it's just for running purposes down the main. So there we go. So basically, we've now got the mill in place roughly where it's going to be. The mill track 2 does need trimming down and moving down, so it will be roughly here. It will be mainly for heavy machinery, for the elevator, which will be roughly here, and the mill for when they need maintenance. It'll be also for loading the odd boxcar that isn't time sensitive, and you can just sit there and be loaded as and when by a forklift from the loading dock around the back. Like I said before, there will be two of these models here, back to back. That'll be my main warehouse track 1 and 2, which will also feed the mill track as a lead. I'll keep most of the truck loading to this side of the warehousing, and keep this side mainly for train activity. If it does get busy, I can always use the right hand side track for loading and offloading as well. I will be putting the barrel factory up the back corner, like I said before, which will be supplied by the mill, the sawmill. So the barrel factory will only receive the odd maybe boxcar or even gondola. I might probably just put a boxcar up there with rings, metal rings for the barrels, and it can be supplied once a month probably. And the wood will come straight from the sawmill down here, shipped up by truck and trailer, which I've got a few models, so it can be represented by a trailer and delivered round town to the said breweries and distilleries. I've slightly rearranged this because, like I've said before, with the aspects of putting these crossovers in from levels 1 down here and level 2, I've lost my town of Ulm because there was just no in this world that was going to fit in there and get up to the height up here with having a town in there. So I've scrapped it all together and just done away with it. It'll now become staging when I show you around the corner. Yeah, so these back 2 tracks here, I'm now going to have as me oil and fuel facility, which was going to be right down the back of there in that corner. If you remember on the last video, I have changed it and put it down there. I'll still put the tanks on to to model it. These 2 tracks here, there is another track behind it. There will be me outgoing loads for me centre beams, me thralls, me box cars, lumber track. The sawmill will go here. There is a cattle dock which I really do want to put in, like, because like I said before, I did want a food plant in here. I'm not going to model it in this town as an online customer, because I've just run out of space, mainly because of this helix, which I'll get to in 2 minutes. So yeah, so I'll have a little cattle dock here, which can offload me cattle, me cows, me beef, me venison, me sheep, for lamb, stuff like that, pigs, if and when, like you say, pork season comes in. It can all be done. I might actually stick the model on with the on the engine facility shed right on the side. I did pick one up, like it was rather smashed to bits when it arrived to me, so it does need a hell of a lot of attention to it before it can even go on a layout, which was a story in itself. But there we go. So as you can see, I've got the feeder wires in. We've got the main arrival and departure track. We've got a second arrival and departure track if needs be when the time arrives. We've got 1, 2, and like I said, we have got the second arrival and departure track, but I was going to use this as a third yard track stroke arrival and departure track. 4 and 5, these two tracks here for spare car storage, because I've said before in previous videos I was wanting this as me northern end of the layout, a division point on the layout, which will be fed to the south division point of Craig, which will be up on this board here eventually when I clean all this off and get up here. The 3 little buildings here I was going to use for mail. I know most depots sorted mail out or had mail offices in them, but I thought something a bit different, just add a bit of operational capacity to it, was to have a local mail office, a northern mail office and a southern mail office that can be sorted out in either or, move to, and then that can just be loaded the box cars in them as and when they were going, or passenger cars, like I say, they did have goods on them that would be shipped off round here, a bit of shunting capacity, just for operational purposes, and then build back up the trains and gone. We're still keeping these 2 tracks here as depot tracks. This is the main line, which will also be a depot track. There is a depot to go on here, and I am still toying on the idea of putting a level crossing or railroad crossing in here, which will then feed round to the second part of the town round here, which we'll get to. As you can see, there's a couple of buildings down here and a little cut through tunnel, which I was going to have a little bit of a town scenery down here, and then feed it round single track road round onto here, and have fire station, municipal building, town building, possibly a couple more shops, and then across here for the railroad crossing. And I was going to put the caboose tracks down here, but I'm still undecided to put the caboose tracks down with the engine facility. It would make more sense to have them down there, so I'm in 2 minds whether just do something with them or leave them at the moment. But I would like them to be caboose tracks, because there's not really much down there and get on there anyway. Anyway, leading round here, we'll come off the south end of town. We come up the incline, we'll come out, and then it brings us into the little helix round here, which has been the bane of my life over the last week, probably. It's been fun. Been fun, to say the least. Like I say, it still needs finishing off in the grand scheme of things. I've just got the general bits and bobs in, but it still needs a bit more foam putting in to make the scenery up and finishing off. As you can see, it's just rough and ready. This will be the log and spur. I was in 2 minds whether to put a single a single spur track mine for the odd one or two coal hopper cars in here, but I'm still debating that one. I'm trying to keep to the track plan, as you saw earlier at the start of the video, so I would like to keep it the way it is, like so. I'll see how that one goes, but I would like to use me little mine that I picked up, like, because I do quite like it. But for operational purposes, it would be fun having a mine in there with the wood and all the lumber and all the rest of it, like. But we'll see. But anyway, we'll continue round up, which takes us right round the back of the unfinished hill, which will take us round into Hardy, which is on the top level just there, which we'll come to in 2 seconds, where the copper cars are for the quarry. This is the south end of town, which runs up round the back wall. As you can see, it's quite a steep gradient. Like I said before, I did struggle with the inclines, and it's the first time I've ever done them, so I think I worked it out. It's something where nearly 8%. I can get a Challenger up there, locomotive on both of these. I have tested them; they do work. So that was the main problem. This here was just a proper nightmare. Yeah, I can get the Challenger up over this way on the back line there. I can't. It struggles. It's too steep. So I was going to have a load in on the mine on the other board. Loads in and empties out. So what I'm going to do is have the empties, or the loads I should say, on this side going, sorry, that one going down because it struggles to come over the top, and then the loaded ones come back in this way, which it managed to get over because that little hump is just too steep on the back, but it does come over the top and down, not a problem. Anyway, southbound track runs into Hardy under this little bridge here. It comes round. This little siding here was there just to serve the quarry. I've added on. It will take roughly, with track clearance, 250 to 270 scale feet of car between here and here, so you can get a good sized trade in, and like you say, you can still leave the main open. I've struggled, like you say, with this little bit of track here leading down the lead into the actual quarry section itself. These 2 tracks here, the back one, I'm going to have a cement plant on it, which will be on this little piece of cutout, which I've cut out for a purpose, because you can see the tracks round there. There's just no other way of getting to them, so I've had to cut it out just for access. So I will be putting the cement plant on top of there, which is removable for access. I've got a cement silo pack to go on this side, and I will have me sand and cement on the back track, and then these 2 tracks will be for gravel loading. Gravel ballast. That's mainly what this scene was for, like, because this was going to supply all my ballast for the railroad and surrounding railroads, which was going to be a big revenue earner. Yeah, we'll run out of Hardy, up this little incline, up over the bridge, and then past the little tool section here, where I've got everything, which ends round at the back at the moment. It's going to come back up here onto this end, just here, and eventually I should say, it will have a 6-track classification yard on here, which will be serving the south end, which will become more clearer as progress goes on the other side. I'll explain a bit more in detail then. We'll have the town of Craig here with the refinery. It didn't have a refinery. It's all, like I said before, it's all farms and forestry, this track. But I have got a couple of refineries that I've picked up, and I did want to use them because I love my tank cars, I love my coal hoppers, I love everything American, as you'll probably later see in future videos, which will be on the first section, and then it'll run round the back. I'll have possibly Wolf Creek here, and then, like I've said, the town of Siben. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, please get in touch with us and let us know, because I would really love to know how to pronounce it. And then, learning from mistakes of down here with inclines, I've now realised I couldn't really do what I wanted to do around here. So this side is now just going to be purely scenery and the mine on the bottom level. This little track here, I really should have said, this little off track here is going to be the northern split kind of thing, classification yard, which is for CP, the town of Ulm, which will be a couple of these tracks that will have a passenger and a local. It was mainly all cattle and lumber out of Ulm anyway, so that will take a couple of tracks, and the other 5 tracks will be CP, Canadian Pacific interchange tracks for the rest of the layout. Like I said before, it comes out of Sabine, I'll call it Sabine. It'll come out of there basically anyway, just for reference. Come round, and quite luckily on my behalf, it's the same polarity as this side of the track when it comes round. It'll come out at this turnout, run back over the bridge, and then back onto here, like I said before, and I'll have staging, the southern stage.